welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing episode 12 in my Create This Book series. So I'm going to be doing 3 pages on camera and showing you guys how they turned out. So let's get started. So this first page says create contrast. Think of a pair of opposites and present them together on this page. So I thought of multiple different contrasting pairs, and I started by sketching this out with a pencil and then went over with a black marker, and I added some darker edges on some of the drawings just to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. And I did this all with my Tombow black marker. So some examples of things that I have are dead, alive, night, sun, hot ice, etc, etc. And then I use my my Crayola Super Tips to color in all of these designs with kind of a muted color scheme. I chose a few colors and I tried to use those consistently throughout the page just to kind of make it a little bit more cohesive looking instead of just using random colors for it all. So I'm also using some mild liners because I really like the colors for some of them, and I just colored that all in. With some of the objects that I drew, I tried adding some shadows with a darker color of gray, for example, on this skeleton. And then for the sun, I also did a darker colored center of it. And for all of the objects, I tried adding a little bit of a drop shadow to make it look more 3D. And then for over here, I'm coloring in this happy, sad face. So one half of it is yellow and then the other half of it is blue and sad. It kind of reminds me of Inside Out, which is one of my favorite movies. And then I added some stars to my sun over here. And then for the background, I wanted to write in all of the different contradictions that I created, just so I kind of had an idea, and I think it looks kind of cool. And once I was done, I used the black Tombow marker to add these line type of designs. I didn't really know what to do with the background at first, and I just kind of started doing this, and it turned out kind of cool. So I just continued this until the entire page was all covered up with these lines. I'm using the brush marker of the Tombow marker just to kind of add some different line widths on the page, if that makes sense. And then I also added some more different lines on the drawings, and later on I also used a white gel pen to add some highlights to all of the drawings. And that is how this first page turned out. It was kind of just random, and I went along for the ride with it, and it turned out really well. So I'm really happy with it, and I hope you guys like this one. On to the next page, which says create a page of garbage, draw, photograph, or write garbage on this page. So I took this page quite literally and found some garbage and recycling in my garbage and recycling bin in my room, and I collected that and kind of figured out what I wanted to do, and I decided to write out trash on the page to kind of use as an outline to put the garbage on there. And it took a few tries, to be completely honest, to get the right shape on here, and I wanted to make it pretty big so that there was lots of space to put all of the garbage on. I cut out the prompt on the page just so I could completely paint over it, and I just added a white piece of paper in the background and glued that in. And then with some black acrylic paint, I painted the entire background of the page. And now for the fun part, which is putting all the garbage on the page. So I just kind of cut and ripped up all these different things. I don't clean out my recycling bin often enough, so I have some things from a very long time ago in there. So I have some bubbly cans, this random string, and pieces of notebook paper and magazine clippings from art projects and stuff like that. I also have some plastic and piano sheet music, this random piece of a jean too, which is kind of random. And then I also used some tape to add in more harder to glue on objects like the string, the thread, and the plastic. And then I glued the prompt back on the page once everything was all dry and good to go, and that's how it turned out. I think it's a really unique page, and it was kind of fun to make and just go through all of my garbage that would not be used normally and put it on a page. So that's how this one turned out. the next page says create blind work, do a painting or drawing with your eyes closed. And in advance, I apologize for the lighting. There was a thunderstorm going on while I was filming this, so it's a little bit dark, but I got out a bunch of utensils or writing utensils that I wanted to use. So I have crayons, gel pens, and some markers. And over here, I promise my eyes are closed and I had a blindfold on, and I'm just kind of grabbing random things and drawing on there. It was kind of hard and a little bit scary because I didn't really have any control over anything that I was doing, so I just drew things that I kind of knew how to do in my head. So I drew lots of these like pine trees and this leafy design, and I was trying to color things in with the crayons, and it obviously wasn't working super great. I also struggled to find the edge of the paper and like get my or spread out my entire drawing on the entire 2 pages. I'm adding these stars with this gel pen and kind of just going crazy, adding whatever I felt like doing. I didn't have any plan going into this, which I think is completely fine considering the prompt, and I just was trying to get as much color and design onto the page as possible. So this is what it looks like of the part that I did with my eyes closed. And then because I wanted to add something a little bit extra, you could say I'm cheating here, but I'm doing this other part where I'm not blindfolded, so don't hate me for this. I'm using a fine liner and a bunch of other different utensils to kind of accentuate and outline all of the blindfold art pieces. So I'm adding these colorful neon orange shapes around it, some other purple designs, and I'm kind of just going off of the color scheme that I created with my eyes closed. So I really don't think it's entirely cheating, but I'm sorry if you do. I think it looks cool and I am not mad about it. So this is what it finally looks like. I also added some gold accents and I think it's really cool. And those are the final 3 pages that I did for today's video. I'm slowly inching my way through this book. My goal was to be able to finish it by the end of 2020, which I think is a little bit unrealistic at this point, but I mean, I'm still aiming for it. I think that'd be really cool to finish off the year with finishing this book, and then I can start create this book too for 2021. So yeah, subscribe to my channel if you guys are interested in watching more Create This Book videos, and I will also link my full playlist down in the description box. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.